Here we have the hourly price chart for Meta Platforms Incorporated, stock ticker META. This is the Facebook parent company. Okay, as we can see here, there have been some very massive declines here. If we go back to the prior video that I just posted on this yesterday, I made it very clear that if we see a break below this 493 level, we were in store for some very significant moves to the downside. And we have to look at, I mean, this is exactly what is happening here. So, we've got a significant price gap lower. I'll try to make this a bit more clear here. But we've got a major price gap lower. And then in addition to that, some significant follow through in share price activity to the downside. So, all of this was really to be expected. I mean, there was really nothing that was left to support this stock if we were going to see a break below 493. I did make it very clear that there was going to be some substantial follow through here and a major acceleration in downside selling pressure if we did see a break here. And this is exactly to the T. This is exactly what we're seeing here. So, initially, we can just kind of go back over what has happened here. But I do suggest people go back and look at the prior video, because all of this was explained to the T before this happened. So here, we do have a break here below this 493 level. The reason that I was pointing to this level was because this marked the trend low from July 1st, 493.17. And this was really the dominant price move that was most heavily influencing price activity for this stock, on a near-term basis. There were several reasons to believe that this break was going to happen. We did see, a major sell-off here last Thursday. This affected most stocks in the market. There weren't many exceptions to this. We saw some major downside activity, particularly in the technology space. But Facebook was really one of the worst examples, one of the worst performers within that group. There was a lot of selling pressure. We're seeing a lot of downside selling activity in NVIDIA as well. A lot of people consider that to be the most important company in the world at this point. So, this is not an isolated instance here. This did not just focus on Facebook, but there were a lot of warning signs here, which did suggest that this was going to happen. We went through all of these Fibonacci breaks here. We went through this just a complete mess of a moving average cluster that we're seeing here. There were several important breaks here that we've outlined in prior videos, and you can just go back to the prior videos to get a more in-depth reading of what exactly was going on here. We did really call this in advance. I mean, this is really not a surprise at all to see this. It's a surprising move, but it's not surprising to see this. I mean, we've been calling this for quite some time. So, this major break here did occur at 493. We can see that, there was some attempt to defend this level. In my opinion, this is probably options buying activity. These are probably people that are trying to defend, call options that are active in the market. So you start to see some buying at these lows, and we did see a little bit of a bounce here, but I just was not convinced that this was going to be enough to really support prices and keep them from breaking this 493 level. There were just too many negative signals here, too many downside breaks. You've got this complete mess of a moving average cluster here, which does not look the way it normally does. I mean, something is clearly going on here that's not normal. So, it was very clear that this was going to be happening. So, we have seen this downside break here, 493. We're now trading well below all of the exponential moving averages. And despite this, these attempts to support the stock, you can see all this upside trading volume here. It actually encompasses the downside trading volume, which is really surprising. Another point that's surprising, if you haven't seen my prior videos on this, is the fact that these declines happened as the stock was making an all-time high. I mean, it's extremely bizarre to see something like that. You can just take a look at the move that preceded it. It was very bullish. This was a very green price trend here. You do not see many red candles here in this price trend. Usually when you post an all-time high, there's a lot of optimism that's surrounding the asset. So there would be a lot of optimism supporting, the Facebook parent company at this point. But as soon as we posted these all-time highs, prices immediately reversed. You got this huge red candle here, and then prices were really not able to recover. We had this lower high, and then we had this massive sell-off during the Thursday trading session, where we broke all of these major Fibonacci levels. So this really could be telegraphed in advance. Now, I've been saying this for a while now, and in my opinion, this stock has really been an underreported story. I don't think that the financial news media has covered this enough, because probably because it's just a silly little social media platform, But it is a Mag 7 company. It's a major company, and I think that it's really leading to a lot of the declines that we're seeing on a more broad based framework here. I mean, we're saying major sell-offs in Nvidia, for example. I think that this is really damaging sentiment and making prices head lower here. So, if we kind of take a step out, we can kind of look at these prior lows for the stock, which came in. This would be the May 31st trading session, which was another very important trading session. If you go back in time here, the lows here posted at 455.57. This was really the price level that I was pointing to in prior videos. If we do start to see a downside break here, and we can see that we're already trading at 465. We've already reached below 465. So, we are well on our way to that target, and it has been very fast. This has been an abrupt drop here, a very, very fast price move to the downside. Overall, the indicator rating is still supporting these moves. We're seeing some negative momentum here in the relative strength index. The only thing that I can really point to here on the positive side would be the fact that we are now in, fairly heavily bought over. We are in fairly heavily oversold territory here, with the RSI reaching below 16. So we're not into extreme regions just yet. That would be below 10. But we're well on our way there. And at some point, we're going to start to see an upside bounce here. And in my view, it's honestly going to probably be very significant. I mean, I do think that if you're able to get the bottom on this stock, I think that there will be a lot of profit to be made here. But you do have to wait for the dust to settle at this point. We're not done here yet. I've been looking at this 455 level as a downside price target. We've also got a Fibonacci extension here, which should be noted, because we're almost reaching that point as well. So this is another possible downside target here. This 1618 Fibonacci extension. This would be based on this prior trend move. You don't see this type of activity very often, but this 1618 Fibonacci extension comes in at 462.42. The current lows have posted 464 is the current price low. So we're talking about about $1.50 away from this Fibonacci extension level to the downside. So this is not the type of thing that you see very often. This is an abnormal event, and to see this in a Mag 7 stock, a mega cap stock, it's not normal. It doesn't happen very much. So we're these are significant trading sessions. These are major price moves. I think it's influencing the entire market. I think that this stock is probably what's damaging sentiment and causing the sell-off in stocks like Nvidia. And I know people probably will disagree with that, but I think that this has been a very underreported story. I've been trying to cover this as much as possible. I've been trying to signal people to the fact that this is what this decline was coming. I mean, this is a house that's burning down here. And there was a lot of evidence to suggest that. So, we could start to see a bounce here soon. I do expect to see a bounce, and once it does happen, I think it will be extremely significant. But we do need to keep checking back to these videos because we're going to have to wait for the dust to settle here. The story is not over yet. And I don't recommend buying just yet. I mean, we will be identifying price zones for a turnaround here, but I don't think we're quite there yet. So you need to kind of wait and be a little bit patient. So here's the current market update for Meta Platforms Incorporated, stock ticker META.